Joy Guru. I am Amalendu Chatterjee. I am an ex-associate professor and a SPR. Do subscribe to this channel of mine, namely Anukul Kotha, if you like my content and deliberation. Today, I would like to critically discuss whether Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra was really a man of steady wisdom or not, or rather contrast of that. Now, we may accept the sayings of Lord Krishna regarding the characteristic features of a man of steady wisdom in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. You will get it in the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita is ranked among greatest religious books in the world. And in India, it occupies a position just next to Upanishad. And it is stated in the, I think, in the meditational part of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that is Sarvopanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopalanandana Partho Vatsa Sudhiri Bhukta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahato. It means that Upanishads are cows and the milker is Lord Krishna himself, and the calf is Arjuna. The enjoyers are the wise ones. The milk is the nectar that the Gita is. So, let us try to understand what Lord Krishna has stated about about a man of steady wisdom. As a matter of fact, Arjuna wanted to know from Lord Krishna regarding the characteristic features of a man of steady wisdom. In the 54th sloka of the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna is stating like this, that is, Arjuna uvacha Sthita pragasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya kesavo sthitodhi kim prabhaseto kimasito brajeto kim. He wanted to know, that is, what is the description of a man of steady wisdom who is absorbed in self, and how does he speak, how does he move, how does he behave. So therefore, and in answer to the question of Arjuna, Lord Krishna is stating in the 55th sloka of Srimad Bhagavad Gita here like this, that is, Prajohati jada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanevo atmana tushta sthito pragastadachyate. That means the man who has fully renounces all the desires that have entered in the mind, who is satisfied in the self, by in the self alone, by the self, that person is called a man of steady wisdom. And in the next sloka, there is the 56th sloka of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, so where Lord Krishna is stating like this, Dukkheshu anudvigna mana sukheshu vigata spriyoho Vitaraga bhaya krodha sthito dhiri muniruchyate. It means that monk is called a man of steady wisdom when his mind is unperturbed in sorrow, when he is free from longings for delights, and when he has gone beyond attachment, fear and anger. So let us consider whether these parameters, that is, a person is called a man of steady wisdom when his mind, you see, is unperturbed in sorrow, and then when he is free from longings for delights and has gone beyond attachment, fear and anger. Now let us consider whether these parameters are applicable in the life of Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra. The first parameter, that is his mind should remain unperturbed in sorrow. However, this is not the case in case of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, because, for example, when a person may be his disciple or may not be his disciple, any person, when a person came to him and ventilated his or her grief, maybe he or she lost her son or daughter, but it was found that Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra was more perturbed, was more distressed than that person himself or herself. So this is the situation. So how can I say that Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra is a man of steady wisdom? Because his mind did not remain unperturbed in sorrow. So therefore, again, just take another parameter that Lord Krishna stated. That is, who is free? That is dukkeshu anudvignamana sukheshu bigatas priyoho. That is, who is free from all longings for delights. Now, again, when a person came to him and reported a good news, for example, maybe his son got a degree from university with brilliant result or brilliant record, then it was found that Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra was even more happier than that person himself. So how can I say that Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra was free from longing for delights? Again, just see, he has not gone beyond attachment. How? For example, one day while he was moving within his ashram, then he found a piece of paper lying on the street, and then he immediately picked it up, and it was a leaflet of one of his mottos actually, and he immediately washed it and instructed other person to keep it properly for future use. And then he smilingly asked a person, or asked a disciple, a close disciple indeed, and he said that, what do you think? People would definitely think myself as very worldly person, very attached person. That particular disciple, however, said, what can you do? What can you do? After all, people think like this. So therefore, this is the situation. And then Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, but then, so therefore, we cannot say that Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra has gone beyond attachment, not even has gone beyond fear. For example, when he was a teenager, he was an adolescent boy. He was actually walking through a street of Kolkata, and he found a policeman watching towards him, with a, you can say, with a malice look. And Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra was fearful. He said that I was fearful to see that policeman in that particular look. So therefore, he has not gone beyond fear. Again, he has not gone beyond beyond anger. For example, there was a boy in the ashram who had an impish habit to beat snakes, be it poisonous, be it non-poisonous. Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra warned him to abandon this impish habit, but that boy didn't pay any heed to his instruction. But then one day, while Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra himself was witnessing that particular boy, he was actually beating a snake. Then Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra could not resist his anger, and he whipped that boy. So how can I say that he has gone beyond anger? So therefore, considering all these parameters, we will have to say that Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra is not a man of real wisdom, isn't it? But then, if we go deep, in other words, if we do a close introspection, if we do a if we give a close view, then something opposite will come out. How? Just for example, it is not that Sri Thakur that Lord Krishna stated that a man would not be perturbed in sorrow. A man would not have any longing for delights. A man would have to go beyond attachment, fear and anger. No, it is not. Had it been so, then there is absolutely no difference between him and an inanimate object or a non-living object. After all, a non-living object or an inanimate object, has no fear, has no attachment, has no anger, and if it has any mind at all, then its mind is absolutely unperturbed in sorrow, and he has no longing for delights. So is it really so? I don't think so. As a matter of fact, Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra stated as one. I think you see there was a devotee named Sarat Chandra Haldar. He was a professor in English and an ardent disciple of Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra. He one day he asked Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra. Actually, he wanted to know that how can you say that you are a man of steady wisdom? After all, we have seen that you become more perturbed than a person who actually who comes to you for ventilating any grief. And we have also seen that you become more delightful when a person comes to you to reporting some good news. And you have attachment, you have fear, you have anger. So how can you say that you are a man of steady wisdom? Actually, he was citing the instance, this particular instance, or you can say this particular instruction of Lord Krishna, who has stated these parameters. Then Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra has reacted like this, that what do you think? Am I not a human being after all? Don't I have emotions? I cannot be God. I cannot become a God after all. But then, after a pause, he has stated, just see, Saruddha, whether I laugh or whether I cry, I never forget my inner self that I am the son of Shiv Chandra Chakravarti. I am Anukul Chakravarti. Just see, here lies the answer. That is, he never forgets his inner self. That is, he is the God himself. As for example, Lord Krishna, while he was giving this knowledge to Arjuna in Kurukshetra war, do you think that Lord Krishna was forgetful about his inner self? No, he was in his inner self, though he was preaching. In other words, he was in both the states, that is in eternal state and also in his Dalian state. In his eternal state, he was always attached, with his inner self, that is with the Lord or with the God, as he himself is the Lord. And again, in the Dalian state, he was preaching. He was preaching to Arjuna. So therefore, he was always in the, you can say, double state. Same is the case with Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra also. He was in both the states. For example, when he was conversing with a woman relating to a particular cooking procedure, but then after a while, Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra asked his scribe Prafulla Kumar Das, would you write a motto? And immediately he gave a particular motto which has which is one of the in other words, the essence of that particular motto is of the order of, is included or should be included under the highest order of spirituality. How is it possible? After all, Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra didn't have any degree or diploma from any educational institution. Neither did he learn any spiritualism from any spiritual master. He didn't do or he didn't practice any spiritual austere endeavor or austere practice, either in cave or in forest or anywhere in mountain or like that. So therefore, but then he gave answers to countless, I would like to say numerous spiritual answers, spiritual queries. As a matter of fact, his answers are all included in a particular book named Alochana Prasangi, which has got 22 volumes. Can you imagine? And not only that, another book, Diporoxy, which has got 6 volumes. Again, not only one day, while one of his disciples, namely Krishna Prasanna Bhattacharya, he was asking to Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra to give motto in English. Then Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra smiled and said, "What are you telling? I cannot speak even a complete sentence correctly. How can I say motto in English? Is it possible?" Then after all, Krishna Prasanna Bhattacharya was just like the calf as Arjuna. And then he actually hammered off and on to Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra to say or to give motto in English. And then it was found that Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra gave countless motto in English, which are included in a book named Message, which has got 9 volumes. Can you imagine? So how was it all possible? it is because of the fact he was always in the eternal state. That is what is in Bengali it is called Nitya Dosha. And he was also in the Dalian state, that is in the Leela Dosha. That means he was always within the two states at the same time. In other words, he moved from one state to another state so smoothly that one cannot really understand, one cannot really cannot fathom his uniqueness. This is the uniqueness of the spiritual person. As a matter of fact, the Purushottama, he is called Purushottam, that is, he is the supreme person. At least myself, if not anyone, at least I consider him as the supreme person. So therefore, it is the characteristic features of each and every supreme person to remain in both the states at the same time. For example, I can quote one day's phenomenon. While he was attending an audience, as was the case with him, it was a daily routine for him, and he with some of the intelligent disciples, he was speaking some spiritual topics. As a matter of fact, when he was, in other words, it was almost a regular feature that very many topics ranging from worldly matter to spiritual matter came up for discussion, and Sister Thakur Anukul Kotha gave those answers very smoothly and very easily, I would like to say, without thinking anything. How was it possible actually? Unless he was the Purushottam himself. After all, you must remember that whatever he said regarding the spiritual matter, when he was 18 years old, he said the same thing when he was 81 years old. He never changed his stand. This is one of the unique features, I would like to say, this is one of the unique features of a supreme person, that is, he never changes his stand. You see, he never changes his stand. This is the difference between him and ordinary people. We change our stands off and on. You see, but then he never, a supreme person never changes his stand. You see, even for once, never. Whatever he said, for example, if in essence I can say or you can say the sayings of Sister Thakur Anukul Kotha, or you can say the life philosophy of Sister Thakur Anukul Kotha is simply like this. That is, he said that God is one and only one, and unique one also. That is, God is one. He is not even two. He is one and unique one. That is, there is no one like him. And next, he has stated that we must give respect. We must honor the rishis, that is, sages, and then we must give honor to our forefathers, and we must obey the principles of Varnashram, and we must organize the compatible marriage. We must not indulge in incompatible marriage, as this is the root cause for all the evils. These these are the principal sayings of Sister Thakur Anukul Kotha. But then he never deviated from his stand even for once throughout his life. This is one of the beauty, I would like to say, this is one of the beauty of Sister Thakur Anukul Kotha, that he never deviated his stand from his stand throughout his life, and this should be the case. Anyway, so what is important is that, not that, so it is, again I would like to say, this is definitely my personal opinion, that Lord Krishna has never stated that a person would not be perturbed in sorrow. He has never stated that he would not have any longing for delights. He has never stated that he would be completely, he would gone beyond attachment, fear and anger. No, it is not. On the other hand, he is stating by a man of steady wisdom, he has meant that who remains concentrated on me as supreme. As a matter of fact, in the 61st sloka of the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna is stating like this, Tani sarvani sanjammo yukta asita matparo basehi jasandriyani tasya pragga pratisthita. It means that, you see, controlling all of them, that is controlling the sense organ, who remains concentrated on me as supreme, You see, he should be considered as a man of steady wisdom. So therefore, this is the principal matter. That is, whether you can remain attached, you see, with your inner self. That is, with the Satchit Ananda. This is the test. This is the, you can say, this is the litmus test. That is, when, as Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra stated, whether I laugh or cry, I never forget my inner self, that I am the Anukul Chakraborty, the son of Shiv Chandra Chakraborty. That is, here lies the answer. So when he is laughing, when he is crying, that is, he is doing his Dalian state. He is remaining in the Dalian state. But this does not automatically mean that he has detached from his inner self. Not at all. He is ever attached with his inner self. That is, with his I would like to say, God self. Because I think that he is the Supreme Person. He is the God himself. So, but then he never detaches himself with his inner self, as is the case with all the Supreme Persons that we know. You see, so therefore, this is the answer. As a matter of fact, Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra has instructed us that so go through the slokas of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, but don't go through the notes or footnotes of some of the I would like to say interpreter, or you can say some of the clarifier. And he is correct, absolutely, because of the fact, because we do not know, we do not really know the real message of Lord Krishna. I don't think that Lord Krishna stated that a man would remain unperturbed even in sorrow. If it is so, for example, if a person remains unperturbed, let's say in the death of his son, he would remain unperturbed. He would remain unperturbed. Then I would like to say that, and if I have to say that is, then only he is a man of steady wisdom. I don't think so. But then, what is the important? Even at the death of his son, he remains always attached with his inner self. That is, as a matter of fact, he was always repeating his name, repeating the holy name, and he is always watching the picture of his beloved, even at this particular sorrowful state. But then he has his sorrow. Then definitely he has his sorrow. In other words, Dalian state and the eternal state, these two states are complementary to each other. As a matter of fact, one day, for example, I can tell you, one day a Dehati woman, came to, and definitely illiterate woman, he came to Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, and she came to Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, and she immediately surrendered herself on the feet of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, and actually started crying loudly. And then Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra immediately consoled her and said, "What has happened to you?" And then that particular woman said that, as a matter of fact, this was a petty domestic quarrel between her and with her daughter-in-law. But then that particular woman was clueless to find a solution. Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, however, gave a solution, and being satisfied, that woman left. She went away from that spot. And the persons who were around, they said that, "Don't you feel bored? Don't you feel bored because of the presence of this particular woman? After all, a very high-level discussion was going on." Then Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra stated, so what can I do? After all, when she came to me, I was in her position. So therefore, this is the but. But then after a few while, he immediately immersed himself within that particular high-level discussion. How is it possible? In other words, it is as simple as that he had an unique capability to shift his focus from the eternal state to the Dalian state and vice versa. But then he never deviated himself from his inner self. This is the matter. So therefore, a man, I think that Lord Krishna stated that person is called a man of steady wisdom, who never deviates himself from his inner self. That is from his from his God self, I would like to say, from his Atma, that is from his Brahman, you can say. So therefore, this is the meaning of, or you can say, this is the characteristic feature of a man of steady wisdom. Not that he would not be perturbed in sorrow, not that he would not have any longing for delights, not that he would gone beyond attachment, fear and anger. No, it is not, as a matter of fact. And in this connection, I would like to say that, you see, so therefore, see, and I would like to say whether, or you can say in conclusion, I would like to say whether we can remain in both the states even for a while. Is it absolutely impossible? I don't think so. It is to a certain extent possible. In other words, we can be also God at least to a certain extent. For example, when I talk with, for example, when you talk with a person, try to go on repeating the holy name. Try to watch the picture of your beloved. At the same time, you just go on talking with that person. Not that it is absolutely impossible. To a certain extent, it is possible. Yes, it is difficult. It is easy saying, but difficult doing. I am the first to admit it. But then I would not admit. I would like to say I am the first to confess. But then at the same time, see, by constant, you can say by regular and by regular practice, it may not be absolutely impossible to remain in both the states at least for a while. And up to that extent, see, you are definitely the man of steady wisdom. Up to that extent, of course, they are the ideal situation. I would like to say. In other words, they are 100%. I would like to say a man of steady wisdom. But we cannot. But we can strive at least. Not that nothing will happen to us. At least through practice, to sustained practice, it may not be entirely impossible. At least to a certain extent, we can. So, last but not the least, I would like to say that whatever I have understood, I think that Sree Thakur, if Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra is not a man of real steady wisdom, then I don't know who else is. This is my humble submission. So, live in love. Joy.